Hi everybody, Kimberly here, and today I want to show you how to look at your clear stamps a little bit differently. I had this idea in my mind of how I wanted this card right here to look, and I wanted these boxwood kind of hollyberry looking branches, but I didn't have any images that were branches in my stamp sets. So as I flipped through, I found this set called Winter Wreath from Avery Elle, and I saw that it kind of had the look that I wanted. So I decided to play with the stamp a little bit. So I pulled it off its backing, and I was like, how can I do this? How can I do this? Well, there's nothing that says that you can't take a pair of scissors and cut apart your stamp so that you can use it. This is a tool. You need to use it, so please don't be afraid to cut your stamps. But the one thing I want you to know is when I did cut it, I did make sure that I left the two ends together, so if I want to use it as a wreath, it's really easy to put back together. But I wanted to use just the ends so that I could create branches. So after I cut my stamp, what I did is I just placed this much of the image on to my stamp block and inked it up that way. So let me show you how this works. And apply some ink, and I'm using white pigment ink because I wanted the look to be white. And then all I'm going to do is just go ahead and stamp this, and I wanted this one to kind of go like this. So I've just even pressure, stamp my image on there. And there I have it. I had the ability to make a branch using a wreath image. Now my craft mat here, I'm just gonna wipe away my ink, and I'm gonna continue on and keep doing this and keep showing you how I made the rest of this card. So it might be a little bit awkward, but it's worth it when you get an idea in your head and you want to create this look, but you don't have the tools to do it. So I'm gonna repeat it again. I'm gonna go this way. And this time I'm going to grab a baby wipe here. I just keep a package of baby wipes sitting next to me, and that's what I love about this craft mat is it's a non-stick surface and it just wipes away easily. It's perfect when you're working like this. So this kind of has a little bit of a bend to it, and I want the bend to go the other way. So I'm going to clean up this side of my stamp, and I'm going to switch over to the other side. Now sometimes your baby stamps, I'm reaching for some paper towels, are a little juicy like these ones, so I'm just going to go in and dab the rest of it off with a paper towel. And now I'm going to switch over to the other side of the image. So now I'm going to use this side of the image, and it curves too, but I hope you can see this. Curves too, but it curves the other way. So now I'm going to use this side of the image. Still just going to ink the part of the image that I want to use. And see, now I've got an image going the other direction. And I'll repeat that one more time up over here. Now, I want a little bit longer of a branch this time. So I'm going to take and move the stamp a little bit farther up onto my block. And just kind of keep that out of the way again. Go back to my project. I'm going to make this branch a little bit longer. Which way do I want it to go? Well, see how I'm just playing around. Let's go about here. All right, there we go. And now we have our branches. So, you know, when you're looking for images in your set and you're can't find exactly what you're looking for, whatever you're inspired to, look through your images and see what you can find and see what you can create using what you have on hand already. And like I said, don't be afraid to cut your stamps. These are a tool. You want to use these and be creative with them, so don't be afraid to do that. So let's talk about what I did on the rest of the card. I wanted to add some berries, so I took the small berry cluster image from that same set and just ink those up, and I'm just going to randomly place them on the image. Now, one of the things that I kind of like about this is I used a pigment ink for the leaves because I wanted it to be white, but for the berries I'm using a dye-based ink. And what I think is really cool is how when you stamp over the white it resists a little bit, and I just like the added depth that that brings to the image. I just think it looks really interesting. The next thing I'm going to talk about is making these little splats of ink color if you want. I think they add an interesting touch and they're just cool. I'm going to show you how I do that. I'm going to take a little bit of re-inker. This is black licorice from MFT. This is the dye-based inker, and I'm just going to put a little bit right there on my craft mat. Then I'm going to add a little bit of water, and I'm actually going to put the water next to it so I can control how much is there. I'm going to mix the re-inker in with the water. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take and hold the paintbrush in my hand, and I'm just going to tap it with this hand to get the splat. So you can see I kind of tested it a little bit on my craft mat first before I come over to my project, because this kind of freaks me out a little bit. So I'm going to just gently tap it over my project and just continue to tap. Now, if I want bigger splats or more splats or however I want to do this, I can just keep going back with the tip of my paintbrush and adding more splats. And then for my last step that I would do as soon as I got these ink splats to dry would be just to stamp the sentiment. And because I've used some water here, I don't want my sentiment to run or smear anything. I'm going to use a hybrid ink that will stand up to water to stamp my sentiment. So there you go. Use your stamps as tools, cut them and be creative, and then have fun adding some splats to your next project. Have fun stamping.